Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is directed by Tim Burton and is based off of a novel of the same name by Ransom Riggs. The film stars Asa Butterfield, Ava Green, and Samuel L. Jackson. This is the story of Jake, whose grandfather used to tell him stories about peculiar people as well as monsters while growing up. One day, Jake finds out that this is all true and finds a place stuck in time called Miss Peregrine's School for Peculiar Children. Now this is more or less like an Xavier's School for the Gifted, like an X-Men, minus the heroes and the spandex. Now Tim Burton has been hit or miss for me for quite a long time. You always go into his films hoping there will be a new or a fresh take or something fun and exciting like Beetlejuice, like Edward Scissorhands, like Batman from 1989, or like Nightmare Before Christmas, or when you might leave it might end up being like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Alice in Wonderland or Dark Shadows. It's just not that they're bad, it's just that they're kind of disappointing. This film was definitely pretty interesting, but I think that might also be thanks to its source material, which was a novel. Now, I think that there were a ton of great concepts, a ton of great ideas, but I felt like this film was kind of scattered. There was no real point in this film that hooked me, that was absolutely life-changing, that made it feel like this is a story that I want to watch and completely sucked me in. Oftentimes, it was the background stuff or the minor characters that were more interesting to me. Now let's talk about the performances. Asa Butterfield, who plays Jake, the boy who's our main character, he did a decent job. I won't say it was great. He was a little bit stiff. He wasn't that over-enthusiastic by any means, but I think that's kind of his style. They should probably play more to that. Like in Ender's Game, I thought he did a great job in that. Ava Green, who plays Miss Peregrine, is probably one of the most interesting characters of this entire film, but the only bad thing, I felt like she didn't get enough screen time. I mean, she's the title character, and she didn't even get all of the screen time. It was mainly focused on Jake and what he was dealing with, not even Miss Peregrine, which was kind of disappointing. Sam Jackson was Sam Jackson. I mean, I feel like at this point he's just putting himself in any project that he possibly can. He probably has like a list of people that he wants to work with, like a work bucket list for him. Like if he crossed off Tim Burton, Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg, he's just working with anyone and everyone he possibly can before he kicks the bucket. He just felt sort of placed in this film. He wasn't exactly necessary for the role of the villain. He did okay. I mean, he's Samuel L. Jackson. He can pretty much play anything. But at the same time, I feel like they forced him in there, and I feel like pretty much anybody could have taken that villain role. As for the rest of the Peculiar Children, I feel like a lot of them just didn't get enough screen time. There were a lot of interesting characters like the twins, like the super strong little girl, the girl who had the mouth on the back of her neck that we saw in trailers. They just didn't get enough screen time. They didn't get enough time to really develop. They were there as part of the group, but they never really got their own story. We didn't really learn much about them. So I feel like the secondary characters were a little bit more interesting or could have a better backstory than the ones that we ended up learning about. I do have to say that there was one super amazing thing that I was absolutely excited about, that I was on the edge of my seat and I was going, yes, this is what I want to see. This is some really interesting concepts. I hope that they really develop this. Unfortunately, this moment came in the last like 5 minutes of the film, which is not something you necessarily want. You want it to be something that engulfs the entire film. You want it to be something that spans the entire runtime, but this was in the last 5 minutes, and that's not a good thing. I wish it would have been explored a lot earlier and would have been a bigger part of the story. It would have been much more interesting. The grade I'm going to give Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children is a C. It felt like a fairly mediocre film from Tim Burton, and it just didn't quite have the gas to be amazing. Also, the performances were kind of so-so. They weren't all there. It had great ideas and concepts, but it just didn't follow through with them, which doesn't quite give it a very good grade. So guys, that's my review for Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Have you seen it? Let me know your thoughts as well as your favorite Tim Burton film down in the comment section down below. Also, if you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up as well as hit that subscribe button down below so you can see future videos like this, as well as my Magnificent 7 and Storks review, which you can find now on my channel, as well as look forward to my Luke Cage Season 1 review, which hopefully will be coming this following week. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You really are the best, and I'll see you in the next one.